whether Trump will change the U.S. policy and not put a veto on Israel getting total victory. That's the question. That's the question which has to be addressed. The first thing is we have to adjust our language thanks to the new president, who will be appreciated. There's no such thing as Hezbollah armed forces. There's the Lebanese armed forces, which are influenced by the ideology of Hezbollah and funded by the United States government. Now, there's not going to be any progress. There's going to be what we called in the 60s. It was the kill ratio that the American government always publicized. How many did we kill this week? And we're doing well. We're dealing with an adversary to Israel, which has its purpose to wipe out the Jews. I say this based on interviews I conduct with prominent Palestinians and prominent Lebanese. I said, what is your goal? They said, our goal is to wipe every Jew out of Palestine and maybe off the world. So that's not something that there's no such thing as progress if 60 are killed or 100 are killed. No. These people have a purpose. They feel that they're winning, and that the Jews are going to leave. And the Jews are leaving the Galil and the Golan. So they feel they're on the up. They feel very optimistic, and it's worth every loss of life. There is no such thing as progress if your aim is to kill individuals. If they're not attacking the Lebanese government, the Lebanese the head of the Lebanese armed forces, you're not doing anything, and it has no effect whatsoever, and that only increases their motivation for fighting back. In no way is this creating a situation where the Israeli citizens can go back to their homes. So unless we see a white flag and unconditional surrender, nothing's going to happen. And my contacts throughout the Arab world and throughout Lebanon, Judea, Samaria, Gaza, the bottom line is that this is a total war, a total jihad, and they're ready to last for 20 years.
נכנסנו פה למחנה צבאי, שטח סבוך ומבוצר, ממש בלב הוואדי, אתם יכולים לראות מסביב, הוא ממש בקו האפיק. פלוגה ג' של הגדוד פה יתרה, עמוק בתוך השטח, תת קרקע, מאוד מאוד עמוק, עם תחמושת, בעצם מחסן תחמושת שהוחבא בתוך השטח הסבוך. אפשר להתקרב ולראות רגע איך המנהרה הזאת נכנסת פנימה, ויצרו פה בעצם בונקר בתוך השטח, תחמושת חצוב בתוך סלע, מאוד 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 קשה.
Sinwar was only one of many. There's many more Sinwars to go, and this is not dependent on an individual in any way, shape, or form, even though Israel Public Relations often tries to say that. That is not the case. When I sent a journalist to a press conference in Washington at the National Press Club, who asked the question of Kirby, their spokesman, are you going to continue to stop Israel from attacking the oil reserves and the nuclear facilities of Iran, which would, of course, put them out? The answer was yes. We don't want a wider war. The American government acknowledged in the previous administration, which was only last week, acknowledged that that's the American policy under the outgoing president, not to allow Israel to have any kind of a clear victory, and anything going on right now is negligible. And the renewal of UNRWA, the United Nations Relief and Works Agency, without any constraints from the world, the United States government enacted something called the UNRWA U.S. UNRWA Accord, which is on our website, IsraelBehindTheNews.com, which forbids, according to American law, U.S. aid to UNRWA so long as their curriculum continues. Our agency was the first agency to get their curriculum, because I actually met Arafat and he said I could have it, no problem. He was very happy that someone was interested. And the curriculum is a curriculum of not of hatred, but of murder. Every aspect. You can see the full curriculum. It's something very surprising in terms of its frankness and very clear. And the American government, thanks to people like Senator James Risch, who apparently will be the new head of the Foreign Relations Committee, thanks to his intervention, this accord was passed and was made into American law on July 21st, 2021, well into the Biden administration. Now, so long as that curriculum continues, and they've renewed, UNRWA has renewed its schools in Gaza to an extent, but Bethlehem completely. And that's very, very important to know but that means that the means of how shall I say, combat are continuing and increasing. What I just mentioned before about the Iranian oil reserves and nuclear facilities that has to be wiped out completely. That's something that Israel can do. Number two, in terms of the most important proxy, UNRWA, there's no question about it. The United States law enables Israel to stop any aid to education, and there is no pretense of supervision of the supplies. Now, the news item I have for you today that you could use, as of 2 hours ago, announcement on the State Department, which was broadcast through Israel Radio, that the American government demands that Israel increase the humanitarian supplies, or it threatens that this is as of November 13th, it threatens that it will cut off military aid at that point if Israel doesn't. And this is something which is very important because speaking frankly as a social work professional who works in the media, providing humanitarian supplies seems obvious, seems something good to do, but there is no supervision of the supplies. The supplies go right to Hamas, and Hamas has been the ruling entity in Gaza since 2006. Very important. So again, that threat, I don't see it anywhere in the American media. That kind of blackmail. I mean, fortunately, Trump was elected and not the other one, and so maybe there will be some supervision, some withdrawal of that threat. But it's a very clear threat. But the way to defeat them is militarily, economically, and strategically. Very, very clear. Israel has been restrained, and they say it's the Kirby, the spokesman of the State Department, said it very, very clearly. They're not going to do anything in that direction and allowing Israel to have a victory. Gallant acted as more or less an agent of State Department wishes. There's enough documentation to that, so it's not me just saying it. And his willingness to be working for a sovereign Israel government is the story. And the extent to which the United States has lured Israel officials to work on their behalf, that's the story. Well, it's going to be a long time, a very serious, long interim period of the lame duck ruling. And unless there's a grassroots, and I know families whose loved ones are in the army. My son-in-law goes in today for an extended period of service. We've had 780 soldiers killed in service, and there is a mounting effort to pressure Israel from the US, but there has to be the counter effort from people in Israel. And instead of blaming Netanyahu, which is the standard thing to do, why not blame the people who are holding the hostages, the people who are attacking Israel, the people who are allowing Iran to function? I mean, things are happening very fast.